Hello everyone, this is Mortvana, and this is the second installment of my whole, you know, Thaumic Revelations development thing. The other world got corrupted, so I have my original development world, like just the one that I built this to mock up things in, and that's the Primal Charm doing its Primal Charm stuff. Um, so yeah, I textured the Wardenic, activated Wardenic, and awakened Wardenic crystal shards, dusts, and tiny dusts, which of course just the quartz shard and standard dust textures, just modified to work with all three of them. And I made the awakened Wardenic crystal itself textured. Basically, it's the activated Wardenic crystal with some overlaying and shit with the pure fluid. I localized basically everything and added sulfur and saltpeter, and I textured the chains and cotton fiber. From the Discord, Tihan made the I think that's how you pronounce his name, or her, I don't know. I think it's how you pronounce their name. Taihan, not Taihan, Tihan, not sure. But they made thistle leaf and flower, and now my vision's all blurry. And I'm thinking of using for the Eldritch Stone. Blurred vision. 9 seconds. Okay. This texture. There we go. Come on. There we go. It's actually a texture from Thaumcraft, but it's not on any usable block. It's on the stuff in the Outer Lands, like the lock things. So I'm thinking of using that. And I textured all the ores instead of using the old textures, and I've made poor ore versions. I haven't implemented the spawning of those yet. It will by default require railcraft and of course another, and like it'll check if ores can be spawned, but don't worry, you can disable them if you're one of those people who hates poor ores. I just like various types of ores in my world, so, you know. And I'm also going to do gravel ores from Tinker's Construct. Don't worry. But I've also slightly modified the textures for the Wardenic armor, the Warden Cloth armor. And, as you can see, I have actually textured the worn armor. Yeah. So, if we go here, you can see, yeah, it's some pretty nice armor. And, yeah. And I've also removed the unused, at the moment, plants from creative tabs and NEI. And I have also added the magnetourgic dusts, as well as a few magnetourgic items, which would be, they would be here-ish, yes. Namely redstone infused fabric, red cloth, socketed red cloth, and arcane red solder capacitor core, which will be used to make the flux robes, and thermal goggles of revealing. I'm invoking thermal expansion right there. So, now there's something neat I'd like to show you guys. I finally started implementing the crops. Now, they are broken. I will not lie and say they're not broken. They are broken shits. But they have textures. It's just that for example, that's not right. That shouldn't be that color, and when you try and harvest them, they don't actually give you anything. I need to work out that issue, but I am aware that there is an issue, and yeah, I'll be working on it. Now, another thing I did is I finally got around to re-implementing the researches, because I had them disabled for reasons. And that included adding the stabilized singularity. So we can go over the researches, although only it's, I forget how many have actual text. Thaumic Revelations itself doesn't. Excubaturgy does. I plan to actually have a let me move my headset so there's less poppy. I plan to have an actual hand-drawn picture of the Excubitera here. The Excubitera paste, which is used in making warden cloth. I haven't made one for the enchanted cotton or the warden cloth armor. The primal robes I've actually did like just a few days ago, which of course it's going to be kind of great, these primal robes, and I need to get them working, but let me just read you what I wrote. One day, when wearing your cotton thaumaturgis robes, you cut your robes on the edge of a nail in the walls of your study. You don't know why, but that was the final straw for you. You knew you could enchant the armor with repair, but that just wouldn't cut it for some reason. You wanted robes with... there's some text errors because I was tired when I wrote this. That, it should be, I fix, it's like, wait, this flows more, and then there's little parts that I forget to change. My writing process, it can cause a few errors, I will admit that. Okay, you wanted robes that wouldn't warp your mind, but would repair themselves. Was that too much to ask? I should put in... Okay, there's some stuff I should actually put in here. But, for example, I should put in warp your mind or drain your wand, but would repair themselves. Was that too much to ask? You didn't want a cycle of warping your mind and bathing, or having to charge your wand slightly more often. You decided to do what any quasi-sane thaumaturge would do, and decided to try and infuse a primal charm into your robes so it wouldn't affect your wand too much. Obviously, it wasn't easy. It took some Salus Mundus and primal essence as well. However, the process made the robes actually tear easier, and they wouldn't even enchant after that. It took some extra cloth and some Thaumic Electrum to rectify that issue, and some of that Thaumic Riftish bronze to fix the whole tearing issue. When you finally got that working, you were in for a treat. The robes worked beautifully, something you found out on accident. When walking over to get the materials to enchant the new robe, you snagged it on the same nail, tearing it. However, by the time you got the materials, the robe had fixed itself without even being enchanted. It turned out that enchanting the robes with repair was not necessary. However, the robes are still affected by the enchant, draining V from any typical storage medium, just as regular robes would. However, an unexpected feature that was that the robes actually fill up your wand, scepter, or staff, albeit at the same rate as a primal charm, making it no, there shouldn't be an "and." Maybe it might have been, I may have been planning the right solution there, I don't know. Making it unsuitable as a primary source of V for the active thaumaturge. Like the primal charms used in the construction, it cannot charge, that should be anything, a primal charm cannot. So yeah, there's a few text errors, but, you know, that requires Thaumic Tinker's Bronze, which requires Thaumic Bronze, which of course goes from the alloys, which I actually do have a thing for. Right, which basically goes over all of the various metals. And there's some things I need to add. There's some blank pages for some reason. Not sure why, but yeah. Thaumic Bronze to make Thaumic Bronze chain to make the chainmail. Now, Runic Infuser at this point is actually just a dummy for Arcane Singularity. I forget what version I'm going to actually add the Runic Infuser, but it's going to be later. Of course, you've got Stabilized Singularity. Is made from that, and Animated Pistons. The Enchanted Silverwood, which, you know, Enchanted Silverwood and all. Wooden Cloth, Excubitera Oil, Wardenic Obsidian, Pure Excubitera Oil. Oh, that I also textured. The Wardenic Bronze Chain, the Wardenic Bronze Chain Armor, Warden Steel, the plate, you know, the armor for that, Quartz, Wardenic Crystal, the Wardenic Riftish Bronze, Wardenic Composite plates, then the fitting, then the armor, and I have started on the tier 5. And so Magneturgy will actually go here, and then the Eldritch stuff will sprawl down here. And of course, the metals are located out in here. Now you might say, why is this so massive? It's because I plan on having things for basically every metal. Yeah. And there will be various options that actually change things eventually, but right now I'm setting it up for the big picture, and then I'm going to modify it depending on stuff from there. And yes, there's transmutations for all of the metals we have, as well as platinum. Same for one for all of the ores, including platinum, which platinum is where I'm not sure. Have I added platinum? I actually don't think I've added a platinum cluster. Yeah, there's not one for platinum clusters yet. But, oh, no, there is, right here. But, yeah. And I just sorted things away. So, yeah. I was gonna go over there, but, like, to something, but let me basically read through all of this stuff that, well, there's lots of stuff I need to do. Off the top of my head, I need to do basically all of the research text for all but the 4 researches. I actually need to add some researches. So, yeah. A lot of textures. Everything that has a missing texture needs a texture. Implement the gravel ores and the spawning of both pore and gravel ores. Yes, all the textures for the fluonic sapphire, including the ore, and for fluonic pyroptase. All of the raw ingots need textures. Smelted composites, because you're going to have to remake them if you smelt them, because they're supposed to be layered. Yeah. Shards, dusts, and tiny dusts for dioptase and pyrope. The coated and fired ingots. All of the 4 magneturgic items for this version. You know, stuff for the clusters and the slags. All of the worn armor textures except, of course, the Warden Cloth, which I have done. Switching all of the metals to a disabling system, although I might save that for a later version, just so you guys can play with this. In fact, I probably will save that for version 2. Well, by version 2 I mean 0.0.2, so the second, you know, alpha version. Yeah, can I think of anything else off the top of my head? A decent amount of crafting. I mean, I have re-implemented the crafting, but it's somewhat buggy, probably, and I just need to go over everything and make sure it works. Decent amount of armor behavior, but I fixed the issue where Warden Cloth armor wasn't taking damage. However, I had to dink around with my access transformer to do that. However, I finally figured out how to properly use an access transformer to the fullest. So, yeah, that's good. Just because I'm like, wait, so how do I do this properly? Now I know. And for example, now I should probably not being creative when I do this. Yeah. There we go. If I say jump here, is the armor being... Ah, yes, I might have to modify that. If the armor might not be... The armor might be... But you can see the armor doesn't get damaged by falling, because that's actually kind of stupid. Armor being damaged by falling. Yes, a wild excubitera. I actually forget if... I forget if this world in it I had it like 100 times more than they naturally spawn, because they're supposed to be very rare. Although I might actually make them slightly more common. I don't know. But, yeah. I guess that's it. And the reason I haven't really done that much in the past few weeks is because, yes, and this is actually backwards, I think. Yeah, because, yeah, the cotton should be the one that does that, not the thistle. Yeah. Things are a bit derpy with crops at the moment. The reason I haven't been able to do much is because I've been planning a graduation party for myself, which is actually today, in a few hours. I'm recording this at, well, 2:30, and the other is next week for my birthday, which is actually on Monday. I'm turning 19. And we're going to roll some dice. Play some Dungeons and Dragons. Which me and my friend are gonna be talking about at the party. And hopefully that means my sister and her boyfriend will get into Dungeons and Dragons too. Then we might actually have a party. Yeah. Yeah. Like a party for a campaign to play D&D regularly, which would be awesome. Yes, this is a plasma thrower incident. I was playing around with something with Industrial Craft before I removed Industrial Craft because for some reason it was not working, and then I re-added it. So, for example, there might actually be yes, for example here, I think this was Industrial Craft tin, or obviously got removed. Anyway, so yeah, I haven't been able to work much on Thaumic Revelations. However, it should only be a few more weeks until I have a working version. Which, yeah, and then people can test that. Of course, it will be a public alpha, meaning anyone can test it. If you give a bug report, though, make sure that, one, it's actually an issue with Thaumic Revelations, and two, help by narrowing it down. I don't really have time to go on wild goose chases for bugs. There's more important things I need to implement, like friggin', oh yeah, brains that you can snort. Yes, you dry the zombie brain, and then you crush it into a powder, and then you snort it to gain research points. Do not, and obviously it gives you a tiny bit of warp, because that's a completely insane thing to do. Don't ask how it works, it just does. But, you know, it may be insane, but it somehow works. Yeah, snort some zombie brains. For temporary warp. It's going to only be temporary warp. You gotta dry them and snort them. And it's going to obviously damage you a bit, snorting zombie brains, but, you know. Anyway. Spooky altar. So, yeah. I guess that's all I really have to say for now. So, yeah. I guess come again on like the 29th or something? I don't know. Or maybe the 22nd, I'm not sure. I'm gonna do these on Fridays, but I'm also going to have to work it so that it's on weekends that I'm not spending with my mom because I don't have my desktop those weekends, obviously. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. There's a sheep.